I'm so sorry.
23.
Sorry, they call every time. You should make it as big as you can. Take it from as much as you can every time.
23.
Welcome to this episode of How to Crush No Limit Hold'em Games in United States Casino. I'm June. Today we'll continue on our last session on MGM National Harbor Casino, and we'll continue playing 1-3 games, and the friends on the table are the same crew. And let's go fishing! So just a little bit recap about last week's video. Two players on my right hand side is Limp Bro and Always 15 Bro. They're the type of player that limp call a lot, so I ISO raise them a lot, and they're really on tilt about that. And the first hand today I'm gonna share is still facing these two players. I got Queen 10 suited on middle position, both of them choose to limp. I ISO raise to 21 bucks, both of them choose to call. Flop comes Jack 8 5 2 diamonds. A very good flop for me. I got a gut shot and a flush draw. Both of them check to me. Here in the three-way pot, I bet 25 bucks, which I think is enough to fold some ace high or king high this type of hand. And turns out +1 Limp Bro choose to call. Turn comes a 9 of hearts, and I think this is the best card of the deck. And opponent check to me, I hit a nut straight, and also there's a double flush draw on the board. I didn't block any strong hand I can get value from, such as two pairs and sets. And I check about opponent have like 400 behind, so I choose to bet 95 bucks, a pot size bet, setting up a pot size all in the river, and opponent choose to call. And I'm hoping a clean run out on the river. And river comes a 6 of clubs, a very good river card. And the board is one card straight now, and he checked to me. I push all in as my plan, and hoping opponent can trying to catch my bluff one time, but very sadly opponent choose to fold. But we successfully took down this first pot. All in.
All in!
Second hand is I got ace 3 of clubs under the gun, and I raised it to 12 bucks, and all folds to big blinds. Limp Bro, he choose to call. Flop comes ace 6 9 2 hearts, he check to me. On this board with some draws, I choose to bet 15 bucks, he choose to call. Turn comes a jack of hearts, he check to me. And because the front door flush is complete, I cannot continue bet to get too much value from worst hand, so I choose to check back. And river comes a 4 of clubs, he checked to me again. And here I think I still some very thin value can get from hands such as like 9-10 or 8-9, so I still bet 15 bucks. And very sadly he choose to fold again. I successfully scooped the second pot today. The next hand start with the cutoff player, which is the Always 15 Bro, and this time he did not choose to limp. He open raised to 10 bucks. I got 10 jacks of clubs on the bottom, and facing this type of player that limp most of his ranges, but he choose to open raise, I think he's got a strong hand, so I will 3-bet him with a stronger range. So my 10 jack suited, I will choose to call in position. And big blind player also choose to calls. We're going to a 3-way pot. Flop comes 9 6 4 2 clubs. All check to me. And without a high card on this board, I think it's favoring the caller. And also I got a very great flush draw, so I choose to bet 20 bucks, wishing to fold some missed 2 high cards. and big blind folded, cutoff calls. Turn comes a 5 of spade and cutoff check to me again. And I'm not too worried about the 7-8 straight because opponent raised pre-flop. So mostly in his ranges he will have some overpairs or 2 high cards. And I bet 15 bucks because in my range I totally can have the nut straight and all the sets. And very luckily opponent choose to fold and we successfully take down this pot without showing our hand.
Thank you.
In the next hand start with 2 limpers. I got king 4 of hearts. I choose to call. Big blind checked. Flop comes ace 8-3 2 hearts. And all check to cutoff, always 15 bro. He bets 15 bucks as usual. And here I got a second nut flush draw. I choose to call. And all player folded. Turn comes a king of clubs. So I hit a pair and I checked. He also choose to check back. River comes a jack of hearts and very good, I hit the second nuts flush. I choose to bet 25 bucks. I'm hoping opponents to call me with like ace-x type of hand, and to my surprise opponent choose to raise it to 75 bucks. Wow, this is not an easy decision because this opponent is very passive, but considering opponent still can have some flush that is worse than mine, so I still choose to call. Unfortunately, opponent shows ace-5 suited and we lose this pot. But I think the good side about this is it's only a limp pot and we lose the minimum size flush over flush. So I think this is acceptable to us.
Only the second nuts.
I said.
And before the next hand started, the player on my right hand side, the limp bro, he's getting really on tilt. He's got pocket jacks and on a ace high board with a flush, he chose to call 3 street with a middle pair. And he lost a big pot and only have short stack left. And the 2 our best friends on the table, middle position always 15 bro and low jack limp bro, choose to limp again. And this time I'm on the hijack. I got pocket kings. I think this is a great opportunity to stack him. So I raise it to 21 bucks and both of them choose to call again. And I think it's a great luxury to play with this type of player and in position. But I think not everything will go so smooth as I expected because the flop comes ace-10 for rainbow. So there's an overcard on the board. Both of them check to me. Here are my kings, don't need protection, so I choose to check back. And turns comes a jack. Both of them choose to check to me again. And considering this is a 3-way pot, I choose to check and I'm deciding whether to get some value on the river. And river comes a 5 of hearts. And check to low jack limp bro, he all in for 33 bucks, around half of a pot. And I choose to call. And very unfortunately, we lose to 7-9 of hearts. He hit a backdoor flush. And now I think perhaps we bet the turn is a good choice because the board already has jack or 10 or some draws who could pay me. And also facing these 2 passive player, we don't get check raise that often. So if I can do this again, perhaps I'm gonna bet the turn. And anyways, after this hands, both of our best friends choose to add more chips. So there are going to be a lot of great hands coming. Next hand, I got the best possible hands, pocket aces under the gun, and I raise it to 15 bucks, and cutoff player, bottom player, and big blind all choose to call. Flop comes ace 4 5 2 diamonds. We hit the top set and big blind check to me. Here I got 2 ace, so opponent will have only 1 ace left. I choose to check. Probably will do some check raise if opponent bets. And turns out cutoff and button all choose to check back. And turn comes a 6 of diamonds. So both there's a flush and straight on the board. And big blind check to me. Here in a multi-way, I don't want to bet and got raised by the active player behind, so I choose to check. Cutoff also checked. Bottom a aggressive Asian bets 35 bucks. And big blind folded. Here facing his flush or straight, I have 10 out, so I still choose to call. And cutoff folded. River comes a 10 of clubs. Didn't pair the board, but at least it's not a force, diamonds, or some card that would make it one card straight. And I choose to check. He bets 100 bucks, and this time I didn't think for too long and calls, because the top set is my top range, and I still can beat some hands in opponent's ranges, such as sets or 2 pairs. And I think if opponent is flush draw, he would bet on the flop, based on his aggression. And he shows King 10 offsuit with a 10 of diamonds, and we very luckily win this spot. And next hand we got aces again and we raise, and opponent seems very annoyed, and although we're a bit sorry about it, but if we want to win more money, we still need to make correct decisions every time.
I'm so sorry.
23. Sorry, they call every time. You should make it as big as you can. Take it from as much as you can every time.
23.
In the next hand, we're playing with our old friends again, and all folds to bottom player, always 15 bro. He chooses to call, and small blind also calls. I got 4-5 offsuit. I choose to check. Flop comes 6, 7, 8. We hit the bottom straight, and small blind check to me. I also choose to check. Bottom player also checks, and turn comes an ace of clubs. Small blind check to me again. Here I still choose to check, and bottom player bets 15 bucks, small blind folded, and I just called in, but now I think I will like to check raise if I can do it again, because based on this passive player, it would be very likely he got an ace, and if he want to bet a turn. Anyway, I just called in, and river comes another ace and pair the board. I check to him again. He bets 15 bucks. And although opponent may have some chance of getting full house, but I still can get a lot of value from his ace-x hand, so I choose to check raise to 16 bucks. Opponent choose to call, and we successfully took down this spot. In the next hand, we're playing against these two players again, and they limped on the low jack and hijack, and I got ace 10 offsuit on the cutoff. I raised it to 25 bucks, and this time big blind and aggressive Asian player also calls, and they calls, and the flop comes 10, 6, 2s rainbow. They check to me, and this board is a little bit dry, so I won't be too worried about getting check raise. And I got a top pair top kicker, so I bet 40 bucks, around 40% of the pot. And low jack and hijack all calls. Turn comes a 8 of hearts. They check to me again. And this is a very dicey turn, because 7-9 now makes a straight. And if opponent has like 10-8 or 6-8, they will be 2 pairs now. But I still got many hands I can get value from, such as King 10, Queen 10, Jack 10, still in opponent's ranges. So I bet 85 bucks, around half of the pot. And low jack folded, hijack calls. River comes and 6 and pair the board. Opponent check to me again. And I'm not too worried about the 6, because on the flop I bet and low jack calls. I don't think opponent would defend like 6x in that situation. And I think mostly opponent can check call 2 streets. Mostly it's like King 10 or Queen 10, this kind of hand. So I bet 150. The size, I think opponent can call more often, and opponent didn't think for too long and choose to call. And as we expected, he has Queen 10 offsuit, and we successfully took 3 street value in this hand.
Ace 10.
And then comes the last hand today. Is cut off a player open raise to 10 bucks, and small blind the limp bro choose to call. I got ace 9 suited on the bottom, and cut off player is a conservative player pre-flop, so I 3-bet to 53 bucks, and she folded. And to my surprise, the small blind player this time pushed all in but he only has like $90, so I already have $53 in the pot, so I choose to call. And to my surprise, he has Jack 9 offsuit this time. Seems like he wants to go home, and flop comes Jack 9-6. He hits top 2, and turn the 7 of clubs give us a backdoor flush possibility, but river did not help me. It comes a 8 of clubs. So we lose this hand, and the Limbro is still playing with us. Due to the length of the video, we're going to end here for this week, and some of the viewers are messaging me to ask about the profit. And for the first episode, I bought in for $300 and I ended $650 at the beginning of this video, and I ended at $1,200. And this is a very smooth session, and the last part of the session will be presented next week. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.
That is your chance to be ruthless.